A lot of times when you're in encounter mode, it is not always just about thwacking a monster and getting him down as quick as possible. Sometimes it's about positioning. Sometimes it's about battlefield control. Sometimes it's about what you can do to assist your other teammates. And for battlefield control, battlefield positioning, a really good one is the shove action. Now, the shove action along with the new reposition are really great for battlefield positioning of creatures. So with that, let's go ahead and kind of talk about shove and then do a little playthrough example. So my name is Don. I'm trying to be the Sly Strategist, and let's go ahead and get into it. So shove is an untrained athletics action. So it's really helpful if you basically have really good athletics. And one of the things I would like to say is in order to ensure that it works pretty well, you want to pay attention to where you are in your multiple attack penalty. Shove does have the attack trait, so just something to pay attention to. It might be something you might want to do at the beginning rather than the end when you're talking about multiple attack penalty. But let's go ahead and just describe what the shove action is. So once again, shove is an untrained athletics action. It is a single action and it does have the attack trait. Now, the requirements are you have at least one hand free and the target can't be more than one size larger than you. Now, there are various feat that you can do in order to kind of adjust that size. But one thing I did want to mention is that there is a weapon trait that does allow you to shove, and we'll talk about that one in a second. But let's go ahead and describe this a little bit more. So you push a creature away from you. Attempt an athletics check against your target's fortitude DC. Now, on a critical success, you push your target up to 10 feet away from you. You can stride after it, but you must move the same distance and in the same direction. Now, once again, it says you can, so you don't have to, but if you want to go ahead and follow, you can go ahead and follow as part of this particular action. Success, you push your target back 5 feet. You can stride after it, again, just like the critical success condition, but you must move the same distance and in the same direction. On a failure, you just don't do anything. However, on a critical failure, you lose your balance, fall, and land prone. So once again, this is why you do want to pay attention to your multiple attack penalty, as well as to ensure you kind of have a good athletics and maybe do a recall knowledge to see what their fortitude saves are. It might be helpful. Now, another thing you might want to pay attention to are the weapons traits. So you can find weapons that have the shove trait, and weapons with the shove trait basically do this. So I'll go ahead and read it. You can use this weapon to shove with the athletic skill, even if you don't have a free hand. So once again, it modifies that requirements. This uses the weapon's reach if different from your own and adds the weapon's item bonus to attack rolls as an item bonus to the athletics check. If you critically fail to check to shove using the weapon, you can drop the weapon to take the effects of a failure, basically instead of you doing a critical failure, so you won't land prone. Once again, this is also part of reach, so you are also going to be looking at the reach weapons trait, and we'll get into that when we actually go into the playthrough itself. With all that being said, let's go ahead and look at an example. So let's go ahead and take a look at our playthrough example. We basically have an underground encounter with 3 boggards, and our party just kind of got surprised by them. We've already rolled initiative, and it is Crag's turn. Now, Crag has a few things that he could do. He could just go ahead and start striking, or he could see that we have this boggard down here that is kind of a little close to his party, as well as one over here that might be a bit of a problem. This one here is a little bit out of his range, but it's his turn, so he's going to try to change the battlefield and maybe make them waste some actions in order to reposition themselves. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and use the shove action. So the first thing I would like to do is have Crag go ahead and target this boggard warrior. Then he's going to go ahead and go to his actions, and he is going to attempt to shove. Now he is going to have to attempt an athletics check against the target's fortitude DC, so we'll go ahead and roll that. And he got a success by 2, who had a fortitude DC of 20. By doing that, and it's just a success, he can go ahead and have that creature move 5 feet. And that is his first action. Now let's go ahead and look at this from a slightly different angle. If we go ahead and bring up Craig's character sheet, we can see that he currently has a striking Bec de Corbin, which has reach, which allows him to attack creatures up to 10 feet away since his reach is normally 5, as well as this has the shove trait. So even though he is using it two-handed, he can go ahead and use this to shove a creature that is up to 10 feet away, which is what we're going to demonstrate. So if he wanted to shove this particular Boggart Scout, he would go ahead and target it, and then using his actions, he could go ahead and shove, roll against the target's Fortitude DC, and got a success by 6. Now, one thing to note, because Craig is using the Bec de Corbin, is he will get the +4 for strength. He will get +9, which is +4 expert, plus +5 for level, as well as a +1 weapons potency because the Bec de Corbin does have the shove trait. Because of the success by 6, he can go ahead and shove that creature and make it move 5 feet away. Now, if you remember, part of the shove action is that you can stride after it, but you must move the same distance and in the same direction. Now, because of that, he can go ahead and move 5 feet because the shove occurred for 5 feet. He can't go ahead and do the 10 feet and close, but he can at least keep up with the shove of that particular monster. Understanding that the movement might incur some type of reactive strike or some other reaction that could happen based on a move trait. Now, I do hope you enjoyed this little playthrough example of the shove action. It is a really great one, once again, for battlefield positioning. And if you did like this playthrough guide, feel free to like, subscribe, or hit that notification bell. But whatever you do, I hope you have a great day and happy adventuring. Thanks.